Morning, Rodney. Good morning to anybody who's watching this. Maybe it's afternoon or evening. I woke up and, happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there. Today's, I think, a little tougher than previous years. And I think it has a lot to do with me being, as clean as I am, the perspective that I have, the seasons that I've gone through, and the season that I'm in. And I think that a lot of the theme of how I've been able to stay clean and work my program has a lot to do with my mom. For most of this journey, especially the beginning, when I was sitting there in a treatment center, there was a lot of things that happened that connected me to her a lot more. And I wanted to, I woke up and did a couple Happy Mother's Day. When my mom passed, I got this idea to create a Facebook for her. I mean, it's 2013, so I wasn't really Facebooking at the time, but I decided to create that for her. I made a Facebook, and it gave me this ability to like chime in or send her stuff, and her Facebook is still active, and it also gave me the ability to instant message her. And so throughout these years, especially on Mother's Day, I reach out to her, I message her, and it's been a wonderful thing. It was a great idea. And these last couple of days, specifically this last week, I've gone through all these ups and downs, and a lot of it was just processing the healthy and correct way, the stuff I didn't get to do all these years in the past by getting loaded and doing it, unhealthy. And I was talking to somebody, and it's these sections of that trauma from when it happened. I think when people that we love pass, it can create some trauma depending on the situation. And there's just been, first, they took me from 2013 to 2020, basically, to really say goodbye. And that's because of what happened, the chain of events that happened from when she passed. I remember somebody a long time ago had told me that the reason they thought I really fell off was because of what happened with my mom. And I refused to listen to that. I said, no, this is all my own, this is all my own shit. And it was, but I think that was a catalyst, definitely, to some bad behaviors and just trying to cope in the best way I thought I knew how to, because as an addict, that sometimes can be, the best way that we cope. It's what started my drinking that I really dove into. Alcohol is crazy, like all of the drugs, I believe, because it's so socially acceptable. And so going to the bar, polishing off a bottle, it doesn't seem as bad as some of the other stuff that I've experienced. And so these sections of my processing have been tied together with my my recovery and my clean time. The first time I got a year clean, I I was able to listen to a song, and that song, "Born" by 10th Avenue North, is the song that I played um, today for her when she was sitting there intubated, and um, she wanted to be aware on Mother's Day of us, so she didn't really take medication until the evening, and today was one of the roughest days of my life, for sure. And um, I've had times of my life where I've said, "This is the toughest time of my life," and make no mistake, some of those times have been pretty rough, for sure. But when it's your mom, somebody who, when you think back to all of the things, process, right? Um, I can remember. Okay, let's do this. She liked to, when I was sleeping, sometimes she would like pick at my face or rub my head. She just loved being next to me when I would sleep. And I remember one time she did something, and I must have like did like this, and she caught my hand, and I was so scared, waking up thinking I was hitting my mom. And I remember the look on her face, like, go ahead and try it. Or um, I had a different group of cats that I used to hang out with when I was a teenager, and some of them were, you know, scary individuals. And I remember we were moving, and we had to get all of my mom's china cabinets moved to the downstairs and to the front so we could move them to the truck. And I remember that we had done a move to the storage unit, and it was like three or four of my, my friends with me. We'd take stuff over, and then we'd come back, and all of the china cabinets had been moved to the front, and it was just my mom in the house. And I remember as we were moving them, and it took like four of us to move each china cabinet. I remember my friend, I think it was his cousin, um, he looked at me and he said, your fucking mom moved these bitches to the front? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, we were like trying so hard not to drop them. And we had moved to this like really rough neighborhood. It was called, like, the street was called Sesame Street. It was in Torrance slash Carson slash whatever you want to call it. And I remember we didn't have like, we didn't have a working fridge, and we had a stove, and we had a TV that was on the ground, and we had a couch, and we didn't have much. And my neighbors had just moved from Watts. They moved. That was them moving up. And I remember my mom would make food, and she'd open the door, and she would tell them food is ready, and they'd come over and they'd eat. And I just remember how gangster they said my mom was, and how they looked over at me and they said, "Man, I remember when we had it this tough." And my mom's response to that about this ain't tough at all. Try living where she used to live in the Philippines. Um, my mom always found a way to connect with my friends. They always loved her. And she also found a way to, whenever I was going through it, she had a way to, she would rub my head and it'd take everything away. It just, that was the thing. And her thing was bingo. So I signed up for this bingo thing. It's at like a Eagles or whatever. It's just going to be a bunch of old people, and I'm going to make that and play bingo for her. And I'm just going to play. I kept saying I'm going to yell bingo out and, on accident, but I'm just going to play and hang out with those old ladies. Because I committed to that last year, and I know that if she's with me like I feel she is, you know, I'm not saying that she's not with my brother or my, my sisters, because she is too. But I like to believe that when I get that chair or table or whatever it is, and I put a couple cards out for her, and I dab a couple of them. I mean, she could put 6 or 7 cards out there, and they'd call a number, and she'd do all of them, and then she'd look over at my card. She'd be like, "Oh, you missed this one," and I'd have like 1. Just queen at that. That she's playing with me. And she gets that opportunity. Because I don't think any of us play bingo. I just can't remember the last time a sibling of mine said, "Hey, I went and played bingo." But all those years where we got honor for it at the funeral, when it was the wake, basically, not the funeral, and I'm standing there looking over her, thinking, this is it. It's just us. My sisters and my brother, my dad, and this is it. And she was laying there. I remember standing over her body. She looked so peaceful. Just wishing she would breathe. I couldn't hear anything around me. And it just happened so fast. I mean, like a week and a half, she's there from our last conversation. And I turn around, and the room is filled with people. All her friends that she played bingo with, the mayor of Carson, her Zumba class, people I'd never met, and the things that they had to say about her. I had no idea. We get trapped in our own world. I'm living in Washington. I had no idea how many people, how many lives she touched. And now that I think about it, I can't remember a day I didn't get drunk or high from that day until 2020. Of some sort. Something. And so, I was so mad at somebody. I don't want to break anonymity here or anything, but, I was mad at him for a lot of reasons. And if you somehow ever see this video, and I'll reach out to you today. And I'll probably tell you about this video. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want you to get sad because of this video. But, dude, I forgive you. It was a tough time. I forgive you. You didn't know. We didn't know. I figure, why not on here? Every year I ask myself, why is it still affecting me? It's been like fucking so long. And I think I know why now. Because I've never truly processed all of it. And I'm not going to say until today. But today's a big day in terms of processing some of it. The car, going down to grab her wallet, and her car was filled with stuff. I had no idea that she was living in it. Just all of the stuff. My mom wasn't like a huge collector of things, but she had everything that she had. And the things that she had in the past, she held such high regard to, that all of those things that she had in her car were none of the things that I remember her having such an attachment to. She lost her storage, and I fought with her before she went into the hospital, because I thought the information I got was right, until she was in the hospital. And it took me a long time to even think about that fight, let alone forgive myself for that fight. So I forgive myself for that argument and how I talked to her. I don't think I've ever done that. I think some of the attachment issues that I have, because I have attachment issues, are tied in with the loss of my mother. Because of leaving when I was, 18 or 19, 20, to go start a life of my own when she needed me most. When she needed me to drive her around so she could go to bingo. When I was the one for her. That was her big boy. And I don't think I've ever really gotten through that either. And so I think when I look at all of these past relationships over the last 25 years, the short-lived ones and the long-term ones, I think there's a little bit inside me that doesn't want to leave, or because I did that. Oh, this is a long one. But today's going to be a good day. I needed to get all of this out. I don't think I would have gotten it out this way in a meeting, or if somebody was talking to me and they asked me, hey, what's going on? I think that this is the only format that I'd be able to do what I did right now and get it out, because this is the place that while I'm talking, I feel the most comfortable and safe. When I look back at all of these videos, once I get going, I'm not afraid of what I'm going to say next. And I think that's very healthy for me, because holding back has been the biggest challenge my whole life in terms of expression and what I want to say or what I'm going to say. And so today, happy Mother's Day. If somebody made it this far, 22 minutes, 23 minutes. And I love you, Mom. Thank you for this last year, 8 months and 11 days. Thank you for every head rub, for all of the strength, and for all those times that, like, I'm struggling and like a fucking squirrel or a bird just seems to linger a little bit longer. Thank you for being that hummingbird when I was at my darkest. And I turned my head and I know that was you right next to my face, where I could feel the air of the wings of that thing alongside my ear when I was ready to go. And I said, Mom. And you just stayed there for a little longer and then flew away. I've never had a hummingbird that close to my body, let alone, like, I could feel the air from its wings flapping so fast. That's how close it was. On that day on Broad Street, in the backyard, hiding from the world, staring at the ground, just wanting to die. That day helped me get through the rest. Well, this is the longest video I think I've done, so I'm going to end it here. Happy Mother's Day, and I miss you, Mom. I love you.